My dad was a great storyteller. I remember from the pulpit, he would tell stories about how we would wet the bed and get chased by the police and throw water balloons at cars. But the stories I appreciated most were the Bible stories as we were laying in bed. And it really wasn't until I was 18 years old when I realized most kids don't have a dad who's sharing scripture with them every night. In college, I remember reading Romans 15:20, where Paul makes it his ambition to preach the gospel where Christ has never been named. I later found out this group is called the unreached, nearly 2.9 billion people who don't have access to the gospel or church. And I had to go and see for myself. I spent 2 months in Delhi, India, meeting some of the very people that Paul talks about. So after I saw the Hindu man worshiping what I knew was a false god, it completely broke my heart. I was desperate to figure out a way to bring the good news not only to this man, but the nearly 1 billion other people in India. I knew that I wanted to make an impact on the world, and that was probably going to happen either by me going overseas myself or sending other people. And so I remember calling about 100 of my college peers and asking them, have you ever considered going overseas long term? To everyone who said yes, I asked a second question, and the question was, why are you not there now? 100% of them said student loan debt. What we found from studying student loan debt is what we call the mobilization paradox, and that is that higher education is essential, but student loans inhibit missions. Another way to say it is that young people are just stuck. My wife has been climbing mountains most of her life, and before we got married, she went on one of her one-day excursions, and I became concerned when I didn't hear from her after 14 hours. So once we reported my wife missing, the search party came out, 2 helicopters, a couple dogs, and about 50 people in the middle of the night, and they spent hours trying to find her. It was at about hour 34 when I began to lose hope. I remember crying out to God and begging Him to save her through this great rescue team. It was at this point I really began to panic, and I tried to go find her myself. And I remember coming back from that and in the distance hearing screams, and I heard, "We found her." And I saw the helicopter come around the corner, and I knew she was in it. I'd never been more excited in my entire life. She had been out in the wilderness in the ice cold for almost 2 days, and she was found. I think this moment was as much about my wife as it was about the great rescue team that had assembled together to find her. At the GoFund, we're really doing the same thing. As God builds His great rescue team, the GoFund is releasing and freeing people to be a part of it, to make disciples of Jesus among the unreached. And it's because of generous donors that we've been able to send missionaries all across the world, and we're going to continue to do this until every single person on the planet has heard about the good news of Jesus Christ.